Chris Van Vliet asked MJF one question about CM Punk, and what came out of his mouth, something that make MJF deserves an Oscar for saying. And we're just going to react to it and go from there. So without further ado.
How old were you in that now famous photo when you were a kid meeting CM Punk?
I believe it was the year after my bar mitzvah. So I would have either been, I would have been, I think I was just turning 14.
So he was your guy growing up?
Entirely my guy, yeah.
So fast forward 10 plus years later.
Yeah.
MJF was a big CM Punk fan. One of the biggest. He had a picture with him and everything. If you don't know, he had a one-on-one moment in AEW with him. They had a big match, the strap match. Probably one of the greatest matches and feuds in AEW history since its inception. But after all that, after all the promos, and one of the famous ones being about the grass is always greener, or the grass is not always greener, or something like that, MJF talks more about his experience with CM Punk. So let's keep going.
You're in the ring, toe-to-toe, cutting promos with him.
Yeah, I verbally undressed him.
But it's like you had met your match.
Match? No.
MJF is full of surprises.
I mean, watch the tape. You tell me who got the better of who verbally during that entire rivalry.
Let me know in the comments who you think, when they had their feud, who had the best verbal beat. Was it CM Punk who did better, or was it MJF?
I go online also, and like, I hope he's able to enjoy what he's accomplishing over there.
Over there meaning WWE?
I have no idea, because the things that he said in my company do go against the things that he's saying now.
True. So what does he mean by that? And I can't show it to you, because when they were feuding, it was a storyline of MJF also signaling the hint that maybe when his contract was up, he might go to WWE. And CM Punk basically say, go ahead, go there, because the grass is not always greener over there. So CM Punk, while he was in WWE, was taking shots when he was at AEW, he was taking shots at WWE. But now, MJF is bringing up the point that everything he says is he's backtracking. So does that make him a hypocrite? Let me know in the comments.
Some people might say that's hypocritical. That's not my place. All I know is since I've jumped into pro wrestling, I've been saying the same thing since the jump. My tune has not changed.
That is true. MJF is probably one of the few wrestlers out there that says what he says and sticks to it. That's why he's never unapologetic. He says what he says and he means what he says. So whatever he's saying to you, you better take it straight. He never backpedals to his statements.
I'm Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it. I also won't sit here and lie to you and tell you that I didn't learn so much through my hatred of that man.
Hatred?
I learned the difference between good and great.
Oh, shit.
That's what I learned. Now, do I like him? Again, I'll reiterate. No. I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire.
Jesus. He has so much hate for CM Punk that in an event of a fire, he wouldn't save him, even if there was water, or he can use his own piss. He has that much hatred for CM Punk.
That fire out. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend I didn't learn from him.
So what's the difference between good and great?
The difference between good and great is this. Good means you can get away with slipping up. Means fans won't freak out if you do something that's even lower than perfect. Great means if you mess up in any capacity, if you stumble, if you tremble, if you backpedal, you're horrible. That's the curse of being great. I learned that from him. I learned that from Cody.
So, I guess it's the issue when you call yourself the best in the world, because everyone's going to expect a higher level of caliber from you. And the moment you mess up, that's when everything breaks down, and it sounds like what he's trying to say. He was good, but he wasn't the best in the world. And MJF is stating it. He believes in it. He thinks he's better, obviously.
And it's something that I've gotten to take with me, and it's made me a better professional wrestler. I don't get to do what everybody else does that's mediocre. Where if a mediocre guy has a good night, it's, did you see that mediocre guy this week? That was crazy. When MJF has a good night, it's, yeah, whatever. That's normal.
Do you still keep in touch with Cody?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I'm not sitting here without Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes booked me for All In, which got me in front of Tony Khan, which got me signed to a contract. Like Punk, I hope whatever he's doing, he's happy right now. And I mean, you would think he would be. You would think he would be.
So when you say you were close,
So, it seems that is MJF's situation with CM Punk is obviously a situation of do not meet your heroes. Because it seems after their feud or after everything they've done together, he has no respect for this man, or he doesn't care for him. He's indifferent if he's happy at WWE now that he moved, but I guess after all he said, he still went back to that company. He still went from AEW back to WWE, and he became hypocritical, which I think is a very important thing for MJF. MJF, like I said, is always a man who is, whatever he says is, he will always back it up, or he always will die on his words. While CM Punk, to many people, he said stuff about WWE, he said it wasn't great, yet he shows up at Summer Survivor Series 2 years ago. And I get why people feel indifferent, but it's going to be a story that everyone's going to look into, and everyone has their opinions. Like, CM Punk shouldn't have gone after all the crap he talked about it, after all he's done or said about WWE, especially with the doctors and this and his friend's podcast and all that. And he still went back to the company. And CM Punk said his reasons. He didn't think AEW is organized or whatever. He had his issues with AEW, yet he feels that he is more he's okay with WWE now because of the different regime, the different structure. It feels better than it was years before. So things can change. But maybe MJF is not in that opinion. Maybe his opinions will change in years to come. We will have to see. Because MJF is still young and he still has all the time in the world. Maybe he's AEW forever. Or maybe eventually, when the time comes, he will go to WWE. But his heated words, I think, is just because he feels betrayed. In my opinion, he seems betrayed by CM Punk. And then he finds out the truth about CM Punk being the greatest in the world, but what he saw in the ring, what he saw in his feud with him wasn't what he expected. He put him in a high pedestal. But it is what it is. So let me know in the comments, do you feel in agreement with CM Punk thoughts of leaving WWE, or do you agree with all the statements and why MJF has a displeasure of CM Punk after his leaving of AEW? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.